Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be doing my September greenhouse tour update, whatever you want to call it. So this time of year is probably the best time of year for colour, and especially for the Leucophilas in the Sarracenia. So you get all your autumn pictures for your Leucophila in the later seasons, so they produce a really nice colour, and that's the flush of white you will get in that later season, which is really nice. And you will also get the deeper autumn pictures that are created as well, so you can probably see from like this Jupiter over here, it's got some darker colour which will go even darker as the season gets on. So that's probably what is probably most sightly. So everything is just probably at its peak just before dormancy, so I've got a few things that are already starting to go back into dormancy as the weather will slowly start cooling off. So I think it's a great time to just show how everything's doing, and kind of at its finest probably it'll be the next month where it'll get the deepest colour, which is going to be really exciting to see. But obviously then it will be dormancy after that, which there'll be less to see. So Sarracenia first, and you can see how everything's looking quite nice at the moment. Obviously you got that hint of dark colours from some of the darker hybrids, and then some of the lighter colours from the Leucophilas as they're starting to get their autumn pictures. So I'll select a few that are quite nice at the moment. So Leucophila wise, I'd probably say Schnell's Ghost. So quite a few of my Leucophilas struggled this year due to all the heat and obviously the frost and the unexpected weather really. But they're all starting to produce finally actual pictures rather than like straggly little things or Phyllodia. So these are some really nice pictures off of the Schnell's Ghost. Unfortunately it's not as big as it was last year, but it's still a decent sized colourful picture all the same. One that is taller than last year is my Sarracenia heterophylla. So this one's got no anthracite in it, which means it doesn't have any of the veining. So it's just pure green and white, which is really nice. It's a bit taller, but the traps are a bit slimmer than last year. My Adrian Slacks, this is probably one of the most colourful pictures it just started opening. So it hasn't got its full colour yet, but all the same, really nice hybrid, which is quite popular in collectors. So yeah, I can't wait for that to colour up as well. Obviously some of the older pictures it had, which are down here, did have their coloration on them, obviously going a little bit darker now as they are coming to their end. My Atropurpurea, so it's got some nice red coloration on it. Unfortunately this year it's only produced one trap. I know they usually only do produce the one or two, but still nice coloration all the same. My L3 Leucophila, it's got some really nice dark coloration to it. So that was the original trap, and then this one's even taller. Leah Wilkerson, it's another known collectible item, and this is its new trap compared to the one behind, which was this old one. So this one's a lot more vibrant. I'm really liking the colour of this one because it actually stands out. Like, it's a really nice like pink coloration around its lip with the deep throat, and obviously you've got the nice white and green coloration on it. So Adrian Slacks Maximus here, and then my Brooks hybrids at the back, which have produced a really nice tall picture this year, just a single one, but it's really nice, really tall and really wide, especially the fan at the top. So you can see a few Leucophila pictures at the back that are opening up. So this one here is the Tarnock. I do believe these two also belong to the Tarnock at the base there because it's in a big pot. So my Leucophila pubescent form, which is a little bit fuzzy. It's got a couple new pictures coming, so this one and this one's about to open. I think it's just about opening there, which you can see. At the back there is the Joanna, which I do believe is getting some other pictures, but they're just a bit small. My Cronus Titan at the back did really well this year. I did have to stake it up, and it's got a new trap coming, so I don't know how big that's going to be, but that'll hopefully be opening any day soon. So a couple more pictures a bit darker that look really nice. So here is my Alata Black Tube, which is really nice. So it's starting to get some really nice deeper colours as obviously the season goes on. Obviously it's actually produced quite a few this year. It's always kind of had this deformity to it, to where the lip curves in a bit, which I've been trying to iron out really to try and make it more of a presentable picture, but you still get the shape all the same. So I've got a Flava Ornata crossback here. So this is lovely and has some really nice like soft dark colours, so it kind of looks really smooth. Could just be me, but it's just a really nice colour with the contrasting green as well. So it's got a really nice lid, and from a distance it just looks really nice, especially standing out in the greenhouse. So this here is quite nice actually. It's just a Sarracenia hybrid, so it looks like a Leucophila hybrid, and it was given to me as a gift. But it's got some really nice darker colours as it gets more pictures, so it didn't really have any pictures on when I got it, so it's produced quite a few and in such a short amount of time. So they're quite a nice decent shape, got kind of a fanned lid, and obviously these autumn pictures it's producing are like a red colour, so it's like red with spots, which is quite nice. So looking at some of the shorter ones, which are still lovely, my blood knock produced a really large picture, unfortunately did get damaged and curved over, but that is the coloration it would have had if it was upright. So it has got another one here, which is the right shape and hopefully will open correctly without folding over, and hopefully that'll be a bit more presentable and lovely. So Maya Relata finally produced a really nice picture to it compared to the deformed one from the post when I originally got it, and this hopefully will go a lot darker as well. But it's got a really nice shape, and hopefully when obviously it's a bit older it will grow up and be a nice cross, especially with the wavy lid that it's got on there. So my Judith Hindle, so these produce really nice traps, and even though it's a small specimen, it's got loads of traps and you can see how dark it gets. So you can kind of see the transition from what it goes to. So these are the traps when it first opened, like a lighter colour, which then go darker, and then eventually will go to a solid red coloration, which are really lovely. So when that's a really nice big specimen, that will definitely stand out. Got my Jupiter Sopa, which is a lovely pink addition to the greenhouse, so it kind of just stands out in the middle here. And again you can see how it goes from like a Leucophila looking trap to something even deeper. So this will get even darker to almost red, and hopefully really nice. But they're really nice, like sturdy traps as well, with a really nice size and character to them. So my camisole's actually done really well. It's got a new trap opening here, and this is the most recent trap it opened. So it's obviously got the really nice characteristics of the wavy folded over lid. Down here I've got my Purpurea, which has kind of just stayed the same as always, but it's still the same, produces the really nice dark traps, and even had a little lidless one here, which is kind of cute as a little stump there. One I'd probably say is my favourite at the moment, which is again one of my newer ones, is my Sarracenia Night Sky. So it went from having little traps like this, and then two new traps it produced look like this, and the colour on them is phenomenal. Like this really dark coloration that it's starting to produce with the little green hint in the lid as well. It's just lovely. So you kind of see what it's transitioned into. And then this one that opened a few days ago is yet to go this deeper colour. But as a plant, that's going to be looking so lovely, especially when it gets obviously a lot taller and larger in the future. And finally, a couple others that are looking quite nice at the moment is this pink stripe in throat. So this is a new picture that it's just produced, so it's yet to get its pink stripe in its throat, but you can see it's starting to form now, and the picture colours up a bit more. So its last pictures it produced are down here, so these two little small ones here. So this is a really nice bigger, almost double the size trap, which is really vibrant white as well, with some really nice dark coloration, so that's really stunning. Like, that is very vibrant to a point it's quite hard to focus on. Also I have obviously some solid greens in here, and my Regelii at the bottom here, which is only a small specimen but looks quite sweet with a little blotch there. So a quick look at the select seedlings that I've got in this tray at the front here. So these are all my Sarracenia Leucophila cross Morii seedlings. Ones I grew from seed that are almost 3 years old now, and as you can see through them, got a nice selection of them with all different kind of traits coming through now, as obviously some of them get deeper colours or even some lighter colours. Obviously some nice light vibrant ones with darker veins, and I've gone through and started marking out a few odd ones here and there which have got some really nice traits that I would like to potentially keep. So one of obviously similar to the normal Leucophilas, they're also getting their autumn pictures, which I'm going to hopefully help determine which ones I want to keep. So this one at the back here, literally just made this picture the other day, and it's super surprising because it went from obviously having some really small pictures like everyone else to a really nice chunky picture with a really nice wavy lid. So this one's got some nice characteristics to it. Obviously as the other ones grow they may have similar traits, but I just thought it was really interesting to see something that looks like this, which obviously has got some really nice size to it as well, obviously amongst all these smaller seedlings. So as they start to get the taller pictures, you can kind of see the newer pictures are a lot taller and have got some more traits on them, as you can see from the ones at the back here as well. And then also probably noteworthy of the seedlings is my Black Widow cross seedlings are starting to get even darker as the season goes on. So it's quite hard to see, especially with them being so small. But this one started off with a really nice light yellow picture, and now it's just getting even darker. So the yellow has merged into like a solid red, so you can still see aspects of that yellow in there, but it's now gone to obviously this darker coloration here with the kind of black widow traits. So hopefully these seedlings next year will be really nice and very nice trait worthy. They do need potting up. Same with all my select crosses at the back here, which are also doing really well. So Drosera this time of year especially are looking really nice, really vibrant and full of dew. So especially the pygmy sundews are looking really nice before they start even producing Gamiae later in the season. So you can see here that I've got about 4 pots of the Scorpioides. So you've got some smaller ones, these ones were from Gamiae last year, and then these 2 trays here were ones that were originally from the previous year before that. So even though they produced Gamiae, they still continued to survive, and they even stayed out here in the greenhouse all winter and have done really well, and obviously are twice the size of these tiny little ones. So I've got a couple of pots of Drosera. So these are all the ones that I did sow in the Gamiae videos. I didn't have any original pots of these. These are all from Gamiae in their own individual pots, and you can see how vibrant they all are. So a few other ones I've got. So I've got some Manii cross Amissa, some Leucoblaster, Pulchella cross Nituda, and some like Platystigma. Pulchella on its own, this is another one of my favourites other than the Scorpioides. Just I think again because they're just so simple. They've got a nice thicker leaf and the orange coloration as well, which is lovely. Occidentalis, which is really nice, small, vibrant and little fluffy kind of pygmy sundew. Got some Palacea here, and then some original pots which I've got at the front here. So at the front here I've got some spatulata. I've got a Aliciae cross here that I did. I think this was Aliciae cross spatulata. I have lost the tag for it though when I did my own crosses a couple of years back. So I got my Drosera Helen. So this is a nice one. It's quite a nice sturdy plant as well with some really large leaves. So I've got a couple of them in that pot there. A few pots of Aliciae. So I've got 4 pots of it here, which are really nice, and you can see there's several clusters of the plants as well. And one I'm probably really excited about is my Regia, which most people know unfortunately did not survive the winter. So the roots they had left I basically cut up and hoped that I would say something, so most of them were quite rotten, and from the roots I actually did get some more plants back, and from those plants I have got 5 lovely Regias. So I'm really happy because they are doing so well. They've recently just been potted up and they've all got their own root system now as well. So I'll put a picture over the video here just to show what they look like when I first took them out from their root cutting, so you can still see the old roots they had on them. So I am super happy because this is probably my favourite Drosera other than Scorpioides, just because of how vibrant and dewy they are, especially this time of year. They've just done so well, and I'm so happy to have this many as well. So they'll be great, obviously, especially year once they flower. Obviously that might not be for a while, but it's just something that I know that I can now propagate, especially from root cuttings if need be. But I will probably be a bit more careful over this winter to try and protect them all. So fly traps next. So I'll first of all show just some really nice crosses from seed that I've done. So these are classed as typicals, but they are from this parentage, so hopefully they'll produce something interesting. So you can see here that they've got some really nice coloration as well as we just go through. So they're only about a year old, I'd say, not even that now, but they've all done really well, just nice clusters of traps. So you can see some size from this B52 cross here, and then I've got a Southwest Giant cross here. So hopefully they'll produce something nice. Looking at larger fly traps, so the cultivars, I'll just go through and name a few. So I've got the Green Wizard. My Microgent has done really well this year. So this is a pot of several clusters of plants, and you can see that obviously it's really nice with this really fine teeth as well. Bristletooth as well. Next to that, it's got some really nice deep colour. So again, fly traps are getting a really nice dark coloration on them. My fused tooth, especially in the winter, produces extreme fused teeth. So during the summer months it produces like a smaller fuse or not even any fuse, and then in the later months it will just produce traps that are literally like this, which is just completely fused. So my Darwin did produce a really large picture. Unfortunately the pictures have started to die off now for winter, but I'll try and put a picture over the top because yeah, they're not that great. They're all just kind of starting to die down, but it did really well for me this year. So I've got a few giant clones at the back. So I've got giant sand here. My D6L has got a really lovely colour, so it might not have the size this year because it's a new one of mine, but it definitely has the colour, which has been lovely. Yellow fuse, nice and vibrant. Southwest Giant at the back here has done really well. Paradista. And probably the most darkest and one that's always done so well for me is the Red Piranha. So these traps, which I don't think the camera does justice, but against this green sawtooth here, it is such a lovely colour. So it gets really dark, and at the moment it is that dark coloration. So you can kind of see the whole plant, and it always produces so many like babies at the base of its rhizome. So this is something that I'll be able to take out and produce. So many of these could be potted up now over winter. So once it goes into full dormancy, I'll be able to take these little ones out and pot them on individually. So unfortunately it's not much to look at right now, but I just thought it would be worth pointing out. So this is my Stylidium debile, which is a type of carnivorous plant. So it doesn't have the carnivorous leaves or anything like that, but it does have, it's known as like the trigger plant, and the little triggers on the flowers you can see here spring when the pollinators get too close. So unfortunately it's almost finished flowering. It's only got 2 left, one from each flower stalk, but I'll probably put a picture of this one over the top as well when it had all the flowers on. But I just thought it was a really nice addition and interesting one to the collection. Plus I only had 4 plants originally, which are these 4 in the middle, and you can see it is like a weed and it has produced so many little babies here. But this is just a really nice interesting one as well, especially to be classed as carnivorous. I'm just going to show a couple of things off of my bits and bobs tray due to me moving everything round. So this is a plant that you've probably never seen in any video, which is my Nepenthes gaea. So this one lives inside usually. I've brought it out here because I was going to divide up the babies from the sides of it. But this is one that lives inside for humidity and obviously because it can't tolerate the cold temperatures. But I thought while it's out here and I was doing the video, it would be interesting to show. So it's done really well. People probably know that I'm not the biggest fan of the Nepenthes. However, I can't deny that this actually does look quite nice. So especially the deep coloration that it's got on it. So you can see around the bridges as well. It's just really nice. Obviously you can see how the size of the babies as well. Especially this plant was a rescue, so I didn't buy this plant. This was a rescue from a skip. And it had the original, just a really small plant, which was probably about this size. And it has done really well for me. And especially this year has produced really nice and abundance of pictures that you can see. So these have actually grown really well for me, but still not my favourite plant in the world. But yeah, I thought I'd just show because it does look really nice, especially with all these deep coloration that it's got on here. So down here is where all my bark trial experiment kind of plants have moved. So they've actually done really well. I haven't actually lost any to the bark trials so far. I would probably say that the fly traps have not done amazing, especially ones that are produced or planted in 100% bark. So ones that you can see that are in a mix of like bark and perlite or bark, peat and perlite are doing a little bit better. They have sustained some pest damage as well, which doesn't help, but they probably aren't growing as well as they would in just pure peat. So that's something that obviously would be looked into, and obviously I would experiment further with that. But Sarracenia wise, they've actually done really well, and obviously we've got a range of traits and colours like those that are planted in the normal peat. But yeah, the bark trial plants are doing alright at the moment. So I've got a couple of Utricularia. So this is my Biscomata, which is starting to lose its flowers now, but it's still nice little purple plant here, and you can see the little flowers at the base. And one that's doing really well is my Utricularia Sandersonii. So you can see the little bunny shapes of them. So it's a really nice, and it spreads really well, sometimes too well. But yeah, it's just a lovely colour, and the little bunnies are adorable. So I've got this pot, and I do have another pot here of little ones. So this is also where my bunny bog planters and my sundew cottage have been moved to, is the back really trays of the greenhouse now due to space. But unfortunately it hasn't got its colour that it usually does. It's got the pictures now that it always used to, but due to being further to the back of the greenhouse, especially shielded by the fence that's at the back of the greenhouse, it doesn't get as much light, so it hasn't got the deep coloration as shown here from when it was over the other side. So you can see what the colour it usually gets is the really nice deep, almost black coloration, especially around the lip of the leaf here. but still it's looking nice. And the Sundew cottage has actually probably done better being over here with less intense light and not getting as hot. So you can see that the sundews are looking really dewy at the moment as well. And that ping at the back there. So yeah, that's the two bog planters looking okay at the moment, along with my bits and bobs kind of tray. Okay, so that was a rundown of a greenhouse tour for September. So you can see how everything's kind of looking this time of year now. So despite not having the best year, everything in here has and can do a lot better. But unfortunately, due to all the weather and just unpredictable weather really of what we've had this year, has kind of altered some stuff, especially as well. I've had a couple of pests, so I will still be doing the pest video which I had spoken about before and has been requested a few times, but hopefully I'll be able to do that soon, especially as I've started noticing more pests. So as I treat them, I'll be able to hopefully compile a video of advice and stuff for people who also deal with pests with their carnivorous plants. So I'm hoping everybody enjoyed this video. Obviously by next month hopefully all the seed pods will start ripening as well, because I've still got all the seed pods, none of them are ready yet. They'll probably give it another month or so and they'll start to be ready, so that'll be a nice video to make as well when I harvest all of these and show all the crosses that I've got for this year as well. So thank you all for watching this video and I hope you have a great day.